In the previous programs, what we've been doing is we've been creating a list of items, and they've all been sequential, but sometimes you can take that index, so that is the address where a particular piece of data exists within an array, and give it some real world meaning in order to take advantage of the way it stores information. So for this one, the program name is index meaning, and we're going to create a program to store the names of athletes. And this is going to be based on a jersey number when they played their sport. So the first thing that we're going to do, because there is user input, is we will include our scanner. Now, this is personal preference. There are other programming methods to get around this, but when I am inputting both text and numbers, I often like to split the scanner into two objects. So one is going to handle my numbers, and then the other one is going to handle my text. And this is to kind of get around any junk that might be left over after inputting one type before you try to input the next one using next line or something. So we'll need an array for our athletes. So it's going to be a string array because we are recording their names. And jersey numbers typically are 2 digits, so from 00 up to 99. So I will make this have 100. So we're going to use the index within the array to represent the jersey number of that player. So right here, we're going to have 100 positions. So we're going to go from 0 all the way to 99, 00 to 99. Okay. So I'll have 2 extra values. This is for user entry. They'll be inputting a new number, and then they will also be putting in a new name. I often like to give it this name when the word new, and then the value when it's a new value that's getting added to our array. Okay, so let's get to the programming. So the first thing that I want to do is I want to prompt for the athlete numbers and names. So I'm always going to do one prompt. So this is a good place for a do. And I'm going to be prompting them for their number. So my while condition is just going to keep going as long as the new number that they are adding is less than 100. So I'm going to make 100 as the escape condition, or at least the one that I'll tell them. If they put in 200, it'll also stop. And let's make sure that the new number is larger than or equal to 0. Important condition because I don't want them accessing indices that are outside of the range of this array that I've created. So this goes from 0 to 99. So 0 is fine, and anything less than 100 is fine. 0 and up, less than 100. Okay. So let's prompt the user for the athlete's number first. So system.out.print. Enter an athlete's number to, I guess, include. And then we'll say 100 to quit. However, we know that there are a lot of things that will actually quit this. So after we do this, we're going to get the new number from the user. So new num equals input num dot next int. So we'll read it in that way. Okay, so as long as the new number is in the range, what we're going to do is we're going to be adding we're going to prompt them for a name and then add it into the array. So if new num is larger than or equal to 0, and the new num is also less than 100, then we'll prompt them here for the name of that athlete. So enter the name of the athlete with number, and then we'll add on the new num so that they can see it, and I'll put a colon here. There we go. Okay, and now I'm going to use my my input name. So new name is going to get the value of input text dot next line right there. And now what we need to do is we need to store it in our array. So what we've got is we've got a jersey number for an athlete. Let's say one of them is going to be number 10, for example. And then down here I will put their name, the athlete whose jersey number was 10. So I've got the number and the name. So what we're actually going to do is we're going to store the name of the athlete in the index represented by their jersey number. So if they played with jersey number 10, we're going to store their name in position 10 of the athlete's array here. So in this situation, we're just going to add, so athletes, which position in athletes, it's going to be based on the number. And then we're going to set it equal to the name that they just put in. So new name. So the name is going to be stored at the address of their jersey number. So it's a nice way of connecting numerical data to, like, well, really any other piece of data. Here we're using a string. Okay. So we've prompted the athlete name. So let's print out. So system.out.println. This is going to be our list of athletes. So we're going to put here list of athletes, and we'll obviously need a loop in order to do this. So I'm going to put a traversal for loop here. So while I is, it begins with I 0, while I is less than athletes.length, and we're going to increase by 1 every time. Okay. So the first thing that I want to do here is I'm going to do a system.out.println. We're to put the number I plus, and I'll separate it by a colon, and then I'm going to also include the athlete at that index, athletes I. Now, one thing I know that's going to happen is for 0 to 9, this is going to be a single digit. And typically, if you look at a jersey where a player has a single digit number, there's a 0 preceding it. So we're also going to include an if statement here. So if I is less than 10, what we'll do is we'll system.out.print just the number 0. So if the number is less than 10, it's going to put a 0 before the single digit number. Okay. And then once we're done, we'll make sure to close our 2 input objects. Input num.close and input text.close. There we go. So I'll run this. Okay, so I'm just going to include 2 for the first one here. I'm going to go with 31 and put Cheryl Miller here. And the next one, I'll go 10. I'll put, do it one line at a time. Sachin Tendulkar. And then if I put in 100 for the next one, here's what we get. Now, this isn't great output because I don't really want to display the fact that I don't have things stored at a bunch of numbers. Like, unless it was really important to me to know, really get a list of which numbers weren't used, I only have 2 names on here. So this is not really a great output. So we'll make an improvement on this. We'll only display the indexes that actually have an athlete that is stored in them. So the way we're going to do that is, you saw that if there's nothing, so a string that hasn't been set is null. And I'll show you this. So if athletes index I does not equal null, and you'll see that it turned blue, so it's a special value. You can see that values are set in blue, like 0, 10, null. So it is a value of a string can be null. So that's why I got set to blue. So I don't put quotation marks on it. It's important to know that this isn't a string. It's not a for null. Then it's going to do this. So I'm just going to run it one last time. Just to demonstrate what it is, and I'll put 4 in, so do 31, Cheryl, keep doing that, Cheryl Miller, I'll go the same ones that I had before, Sachin Tendulkar, and then let's go 23, LeBron James, and 30, Lionel Messi. So now when I display it, I'm going to put in 100, or 500 will also work. I get my list of athletes because I've got this if statement here that will prevent it from displaying the information if it's null. I only get those values. So stored in position 10 is Sachin Tendulkar. So it's a very good way to connect whatever piece of data that we want, along with a number with which it should be associated.